Men are not the prize that they think that they are. I made a video last week about how I've been single for almost 2 years and that it's true what they say. The longer that you've been single, the easier it is to stay that way, to the point that I can't really picture myself in a relationship because I don't really like anyone. I've only liked 2 people in the last 2 years. And while most women did agree with me that they feel the exact same way, shared similar experiences, of course, here come along the men somehow making it a negative thing. Saying things like, I know a lot of elderly women that would love companionship, telling me that I need to speed up my sense of urgency because yikes, I'm 35 and it's not looking good for me, as if I care. And pointing out the fact that I must be lonely because I don't have a ring on my finger.
Nothing says happy and thriving, guys, quite like a 35-year-old woman jumping on TikTok complaining about the fact that men are apparently not the prize. So let me get this straight. This woman is perpetually single. She can't find a single man because none of us are good enough for her. And apparently, it's our fault, and she is super happy about the situation. Very, very interesting. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, I have some absolute nonsense to show you here today. Kicking it off with a clip from this woman right here, who is complaining that all of her guy friends have ulterior motives. Now, let's just get this clear. Excuse me. These women know what their guy friends are after. They know what men are there for, really. But so many of these women, guys, they get on TikTok just to spew absolute nonsense. So let's jump into it. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's take a listen.
We talk about how complicated girl-guy friendships are, especially like a girl best friend, guy best friend. For starters, most guys will not be nice to you unless they are attracted to you. They will not treat you like a human being. They treat you like fucking dirt. And I know this because I was really ugly before puberty, and the boys were so mean to me. When you do have these guy friends, a lot of the time they have like these ulterior motives. Either one, they're in love with you and they're hoping that one day you're gonna want to date them. Number two, they're just being nice to you and just trying to get close to you, to get your walls down, get you vulnerable, and then eventually hopefully hook up with you.
Let's be honest, guys. All of these women know that their best friends, their guy friends, are only realistically there for one thing. Okay, and this is where the gaslighting comes into play, because you'll have these women, these exact same women like this one right here on this video. They will enter into relationships with men and they will go, oh, don't worry, he's just a friend. How dare you get offended that I have guy friends? And they'll proceed to, weave this story about how you're insecure, how you don't like women, whatever the case may be. All the while knowing full well what the men are there for in the first place. It's absolutely hilarious, guys. And this is how these women end up, 35 years of age and still single, like the woman who we will cover after this one.
Be like really nice to you up until they realize they're never gonna get what they want. It's such a shitty feeling, because it's like, for the girl, it's always like, for me, I'm like, I value you as a friend. I will treat you the way I would treat all my friends. I truly only know like a handful of guys that I think don't have some secret intention with me.
They all have some intention. You see how she keeps up the lie, guys, right? It's funny because women like this, they will keep up the lie no matter what. Oh, I didn't know, I still have a handful of guy friends that are totally not into me for that particular reason. Okay, and the lying will just continue, and it will continue, and it will continue. So speaking of continuing with the lying, let's jump into this next clip here. This is a woman who, like the intro clip, which we'll return to later, is also dating in her 30s. Check that out. Let's take a listen.
If I go on one more date, if I have one more encounter with a man in his early 30s telling me that what he's looking for is a hustler, that he's looking for a queen to build an empire with, to be hustling for the next 5 years, I'm officially tapping out. Because what y'all don't get is us girlies in our early 30s, we've been hustling. We fell victim to the girl boss shit, and we was girl bossing for the last decade.
Yeah, and how did that work out for you? So let's understand this clearly, okay? This woman, dating in her 30s, what does she want? She wants a highly successful man, because she doesn't want to have to work anymore. Yeah, she can go out there, she can hook up with the chads, she can hook up with the guys who are really attractive, but they're not multi-millionaires. But she's realizing, hey, wait a minute, I need a man to be my retirement plan. I've been working at Starbucks this entire time. Okay, I'm done screwing around for a decade. Listen to this. Look, she's been girl bossing for the last decade, is the way that she put it. She has been out there having her fun with random dudes for the last decade, and now she needs a dude who's at the finish line. Okay, she needs the guy who's got M's in the bank. She needs the guy who's got a house paid off. She needs the guy who has this, the second car for her to drive that's nice. She needs it all set up now that she's done absolutely doing degenerate crap for the last decade of her life. Decade plus, mind you. I mean, with these women, guys, oftentimes it's since 18 they've been doing this nonsense, and now they want a man to come and save them. It's hilarious.
Girl boss shit, and we was girl bossing for the last decade.
And just by the way, they always frame themselves as the victim. You know, no accountability whatsoever, no understanding that this was their own decision. Oh, I fell victim to this, is the words that she used.
We went to school, we started our businesses, we bought houses, we've been doing this shit on our own. We've been on our independent woman shit. And you talking to me about hustling another 5 years? My mans, I'm trying to have some babies. And you want me out here working too and hustling? You got me fucked up.
Yeah, guys, I can't wait to have children, right, with this woman who for the last 10 years has been living a strong and independent life with Lord knows how many random dudes. And now she wants you to have it all together so that she can have your kids. First of all, guys, if you have a child with a woman like this, you better well be getting a DNA test. First of all, you're crazy. Second of all, get a DNA test, because it's probably going to be some chads that she still has on Instagram. Okay, these women are a bad investment, terrible investment. This will end you in a divorce. This will end you, where she's trying to take your finances, probably your child as well, that, hey, you don't even know is not really yours. This woman, terrible, terrible investment. Dating in your 30s, she's tapping out, guys. She needs a man to come along and retire her. She doesn't even want to work another 5 years. The body clock is running out. So let's jump into this woman that we covered in the intro. The one saying that men are not the prize. We'll see how much of this I survive. Let's jump in.
Men are not the prize that they think that they are. I made a video last week about how I've been single for almost 2 years, and that it's true what they say. The longer that you've been single, the easier it is to stay that way.
Hilarious. What a surprise, guys, right? This woman, single. I guarantee you she's had many periods of her life where she is single.
Point that I can't really picture myself in a relationship because I don't really like anyone. I've only liked 2 people in the last 2 years.
Translation: we only are shooting for the top percentage of men. Okay, that's the real translation. Wait, what did she say? Hang on. Let's go back here for a second. Hang on.
Picture myself in a relationship because I don't really like anyone. I've only liked 2 people in the last 2 years.
Wait, didn't this woman, let me get this straight. This woman has been single for the past 2 years, but she's only liked 2 men for the past 2 years. Okay, this is the funny thing, okay? I want you guys to pay attention to this. Every single time one of these women says that they're single, it does not mean that they are celibate, okay? They are still out there giving their bodies to dudes during these periods of singledom, okay? You'll get some woman who's like 26, 27, 28, pushing 30, and they'll be like, yeah, I've been single for the last 4 years, just really focusing on myself, looking for the right man. They have been hooking up left, right, and center, guys. Okay, and again, they're looking for Captain Simp. They're looking for some guy that's got millions in the bank to come along and save them. It's really hilarious.
And while most women did agree with me that they feel the exact same way, shared similar experiences, of course, here come along the men somehow making it a negative thing, saying things.
I mean, it is a negative thing, right? You're 35, single, still single, right? Your last stint of singledom was not done in a celibate manner, and it's been for 2+ years, I would assume. She said 2 years, but let's be real, it's longer than that. You've only liked 2 men in the last 2 years. We all know what that translates to. What this tells me is you're 35 and you're not done chasing chads. Of course it's a negative thing. This is in no way is it a positive thing.
Things like, I know a lot of elderly women that would love companionship, telling me that I need to speed up my sense of urgency because yikes, I'm 35 and it's not looking good for me.
I mean, it's not looking good. It's really not. 35, single, especially, I don't know this woman's situation, right? But especially if she wants children, Like this is not looking good. It really isn't. Now, this woman will always be able to find some guy. She'll be able to find some simp when she's 60, okay? But again, the quality of men that these women can get, especially for a long-term relationship, dwindles as time goes on. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff.
As if I care. And pointing out the fact that I must be lonely because I don't have a ring on my finger, which is actually hilarious. I wish men were the prize. I think that would actually be amazing. But the truth is that most of you are embarrassing. And sometimes keeping a man is embarrassing, especially when everyone around you knows the kind of man that he is. So how is it?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you read between the lines here, by the way, she's talking about keeping a man and how it can be embarrassing. I actually don't think that she's talking about, you know, some simp with a good economic status. I think what she's talking about here is she's talking about it's embarrassing to keep men because they don't actually want a relationship with her. This sounds to me, okay, like she's out here casually dating men and everybody knows that the dude is not loyal. He's a player, okay? It's some dude that she met from like Tinder or something who's highly attractive. And it's embarrassing for her to keep him because everybody knows that he's not going to be monogamous with her, right? Everybody knows that this dude is not going to give her a relationship. Again, notice in these videos, guys, they don't want average men. They want the guys who have already made it. They want the men that all the other women are interested in.
Embarrassing, especially when everyone around you knows the kind of man that he is. So how?
She just told on herself there, by the way, right? She just told on herself. She told you she's dating the players. Everybody knows what kind of men that they are. So, you know, getting commitment out of them, a little bit embarrassing.
How is it a prize to be with someone who doesn't treat you well? One Dusty in particular.
She just told you again, right? How is it a prize to be with someone who doesn't treat you well? AKA, Chad's not treating me well. Why am I in the prize?
Said that it's not a man's responsibility to keep the woman, that it's the woman's responsibility to keep the man, which is laughable to me, but it is a reflection of how a lot of men think. Let me remind you that tolerating a man's disrespectful behavior for the sake of longevity and saying that you've had a partner for X amount of years, that is not a flex. The real flex is loving yourself so much that you will not settle for the bare minimum.
Yes, Queen, never settle for the bare minimum. You're 35, you're still single, still perpetually single. Let's trust her dating advice, guys. And just by the way, the reason why I don't hold men to the same standard is because there are dudes who are 35 who can be perfectly eligible men, but they'll just be completely invisible to women because they're average. The average woman is not invisible to men. She absolutely isn't. Even if she has behavior problems, even if she has health issues, shall we say, again, still going to be relevant to a lot of guys. A lot of guys are still going to be interested in them, right? The average 35-year-old guy, if he doesn't have something going for himself, if he's not highly attractive, you know, these men are typically overlooked. They're typically invisible. That's why I hold men and women to different standards, especially by the time they're 35 and still single. A woman's 35, still single, okay? What the hell have you been doing is my question. But we all know the answer. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.